Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today I am reviewing a personal finance curriculum. I had the opportunity to try it out and I'm really excited to share my thoughts with you guys. So for some reference, I am pretty picky and hesitant when it comes to any personal finance curriculum because I actually work in the finance and banking industry. I've worked in it for over 10 years now. I have a lot of training and knowledge with personal finance. I was a loan officer for many years, so I also helped a lot of people with personal finance. And something I noticed right off the bat is most adults have no idea about personal finance. They don't know how to budget. They don't know how to make decisions when it comes to debt and loans. And so this is something very important to me, but also at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of personal finance curriculum out there that gets it wrong. So today I am actually reviewing a newer program from the company called Before Personal Finance. Before Personal Finance actually first started with a teen personal finance curriculum. It was written by homeschooling parents for their own kids, and so they saw something missing in the homeschool community and they created it. If you have a child that's 13 or older, you're definitely going to want to check out their teen program. Their teen program is more independent for the child and self-paced on the computer. And that is something that I would highly recommend, especially if you're needing to get any type of credits for a personal finance class for like a high schooler. But I got the opportunity to review their tween program. So this program is recommended for ages 8 to 12 and to take prior to that teen course. I want to say thank you to Before Personal Finance for sponsoring today's video. They did send me this to try out and review. As always, my reviews are always honest. I'm going to share what I really think about the product, how I think it will work for you guys, any recommendations, and things like that. So thank you for sponsoring today's video. What I love off the bat is this book is all you need. This is your teacher guide and student book all in one. It's full color, it's 150 pages, 10 lessons, and everything you need is in here. Now, when you first purchase this, you're going to get emails, and in here as well, there's some QR codes for you as the teacher. There's a great introduction video that pretty much explains everything that's going to happen in this course, what the expectations of you, the teacher, are, and the child. So highly recommend watching that video. As soon as I watched that video, I felt really prepared, which there's a lot of curriculum, not even personal finance curriculum, but any curriculum where there's a lot of times where I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. That was not the case with this. I watched that 9-minute video. I knew exactly what was going to be in this curriculum, how everything was laid out, and I felt like at that point we could just open and go. Every lesson is structured the same way, and so that's also something very easy, is you know what to expect with each lesson. There's obviously the main scene or topic that you're going to be discussing. There is a teaching portion that normally takes about 30 minutes. So for each lesson, you need to dedicate about 30 minutes that you're going to be teaching the concept in this lesson. Then there's going to be activities that range, which I'll get into in a minute. The activities can take anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. There's a budgeting activity. So every single lesson, your child is actually completing a budget that goes week after week. So how they ended lesson 1 with their budget, that same budget is going to go into week 2. So they're going to be budgeting this entire course. And then there's always a lesson quiz that takes about 10 to 15 minutes. So there's 4 different sections. There's no schedule that was provided of how to complete the lessons. And it honestly depends on your homeschool. You could do 1 lesson per week. You could do, the teaching lesson one day, the activity one day, the budgeting one day, and the quiz on the last day. That would be a 4-day week. You could double up on lessons. You could do the entire lesson in one day. It's really up to you and how you and your children are wanting to work through this curriculum. I had no issue doing an entire lesson in one day. Yes, it took some time, but it really solidified the lesson and made sense. As we would cover the lesson, we would do the activity, wrap it up with budgeting, and then take the final quiz. So really no right or wrong way how to complete these lessons. If you're needing to complete grades or records, there is a included kind of grade book sheet, and it tells you how to grade like percentage wise. Like 50% of the grade should be based on their quiz score, and then you can track it all, and then if you need to input it into another software, you can. Every lesson starts with the teacher's corner, where you want to just read that to yourself. It's going to introduce you to the topics. There is a QR code that you can scan for any additional resources on that specific lesson. A lot of times it's answer keys to the activities or the quizzes, and so you have all the activity or answer keys available to you, but they're not in the book because, again, this is more of a student workbook. So if you're looking for answer keys, you need to scan the QR codes and they're available. What's really fun about this curriculum is, so it's based on tweens. However, in this curriculum, it's telling the students, like, we're talking about your future your future self. I believe it takes them up through the age 22. And so every lesson, it's like, okay, now you're 13, now you're 16, and at this age, you need to make a decision. So when age 16 hits in the lesson, that's normally when car buying conversations happen. And so your lesson activity and budget are going to be based on purchasing a vehicle. So your child is making future decisions for themselves, which I think is a really unique way. I've never seen a personal finance curriculum do that. So your kids are really having to think, you know, when they're 13, they probably don't have a job. They're probably receiving a lot of their money from birthday gifts, holiday gifts, allowance, and so as they get older, they're going to see their income change because maybe at that 16, 17 age, they have a part-time job, and so they're getting more income, they've saved more, hopefully, and so this is a very realistic working curriculum. In the main lesson, what you're teaching is the different topics. So you're teaching them about just what is money in general, what is saving, what is banking, what are loans, what is debt. And so you're doing the overall normal concepts of teaching. Finance can be a really hard subject to understand, but I feel like they did a really great job breaking it into smaller concepts in easier terms for these tween ages to understand. The activities do vary. Sometimes it's like a fun quiz, like, you know, those quizzes you used to take in magazines. It's like, are you this or are you this? So I think one was like, are you a saver or are you a spender? So the activities are really fun and engaging for the kids. Most lessons have a store, and so depending on, again, what age your future child is at, it can be, again, we're talking about buying a car. So the store, that lesson is going to be different options to purchase a car. Sometimes it's just splurging type things, like, are you going to spend money on clothes? Are you going to spend it on eating out? And so they have those options, and then there's your weekly budget. This by far is my favorite thing from this curriculum, and this is where I was like, wow, they actually understand what should be taught to students to understand the choices you make impact future decisions as well. So there are things where it's going to guide you through your budget. It's going to say, okay, when you're starting your budget, this is how much money you're going to start with. Lesson after lesson, that money is from the week prior. If there's any additional money, you know, did you earn any money from holidays, from a job? And then there's something really fun. There is something called a plot twist that they do in every budget. So there's a QR code. I just do it really quick on my phone for my kids. It's like a spinning wheel, and it can either give you extra money or it could take money away. And that is the most realistic thing, because you can budget as much as you want and plan, but there are always unexpected things, either good or bad. And so every week your child's going to spin that wheel and they have no idea what's going to happen. They could increase their budget or they could decrease their budget. They're going to add in any purchases that they made from that shop this week, and then they're going to add it all up, and then whatever's on that weekly budget, whatever money they have left, rolls over into the next week. So they're making decisions, they have unexpected expenses that may come up, and as they go through this week by week, I think you're probably going to see your children become much more saver, much more conservative with spending money. I feel like they're going to be probably a little crazy in the beginning, and then once they understand what's actually happening and things that could be unexpected can happen, they're going to make a little bit more cautious choices when it comes to spending. Again, throughout the lessons, there's going to be various activities, various learning opportunities. A lot of this too is going to translate into really good conversations with you and your kids. You can discuss maybe some financial choices that you made that you wish you didn't, or that were really good choices. You can talk about the first time you bought a car. You can talk about, your house purchase. You can talk about student loans. Something I really, really like about this curriculum is it's not meant to be perfect. They are going to allow your child to make a decision to put themselves in debt. They're going to allow your children to make a decision to purchase the most expensive thing and not have enough money for the next month. It's not meant to be a perfect budget, because that's not how most things work. This curriculum is meant to educate them and do it at this young age to where hopefully when they're actually making these decisions in real life, they can look back and be like, oh, I probably shouldn't do that. I probably shouldn't splurge on this. And so I love that, because any other personal finance curriculum, I said, everything is perfect. You get a perfect set of money every month. Your bills are perfect every month. And that's not realistic. That's not how things work. And so I really appreciate the realistic aspect in this curriculum. Now let's talk about I know what questions are probably going to come up. If you're wanting to teach multiple students, I think that this is absolutely set up perfectly for that. I would teach my 4th and 6th grader together for sure, but this is your student workbook, and so you would need to purchase a student workbook for each one of your children, because this is where they're going to complete their budget and all of their activities. What happens if your child makes a really bad budget decision and you want to go back? There are actual redo pages as well. So say your child did make a really bad decision and it could really mess up the rest of the lessons. There are redo budget sheets where you could probably guide them into making a better decision. And again, that's part of the learning process. I think this curriculum would be perfect to add into a morning time routine. I'm definitely going to be using it as a one-off unit study. My kids love learning about finance. I think most kids do. They really like money. And so I think that this is easy enough to implement. Again, after watching that teaching intro video, this is very simple for me to just pull out. The kids have fun. They don't even feel like they're doing school, because they're getting to budget and play in their future selves. So highly recommend. Again, like I said in the beginning of this video, I'm very cautious when it comes to personal finance curriculum, and I can say I highly recommend this program. I cannot wait till my kids are old enough to complete the teen program. That's a little bit more in depth, and it is self-paced, where there's video lessons and activities that your child would do on their own. And so I'm really excited for that. That is definitely something I'll be using in our high school years. If you want to learn more about this curriculum, I have also written a full blog post review where that's kind of more organized with my thoughts and some more information. That is linked down below. And I also have a link directly to Beyond Personal Finance's website where you can check out the rest of their products. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about this curriculum. Have a great day. Bye.